All right. Good afternoon or good morning, everyone. Happy Monday to you. We're our last day of March and really excited to be here with you today for another Monday Mindset, really getting your week started off right with getting the right thinking, the right approach to whether it's growing your business or, making changes in your life. I love being a part of this particular segment within the Agent Collective, and kind of taking some of the things that have impacted me and being able to share them with you. And today is no different. This is one of those the training that we're going to go over, the conversation we're going to have really came from a video, watching a video last week that really kind of got me thinking about, being in the 1% versus the 99% and removing yourself from the 99%. So, and we're going to have some conversation around that. But if you probably saw with either in the WhatsApp group or maybe on social media, the video that I'm talking about was a video of some dogs. It's probably about 10, 12 dogs that were given an obstacle of trying to get to a food bowl. And it was made to be challenging for them. And the path of least resistance, or what was assumed to be the path of least resistance, was the way that all of the dogs were trying to go. And there were only one or two, really one dog that was willing to go a different direction. And if you watch the video closely, you'll notice that it was the same dog trying to go the opposite direction, the direction that looked more difficult, more challenging. But once he was able to navigate the obstacles and reach the food bowl, all of a sudden, other dogs started to go the same direction that he went. And while there was still a pileup, there was still, say, a 99% over here, still trying to do it the way that all of them have tried, and it just wasn't working. And one or two dogs, I think a total of three, made it over there before the video stops. And it really took me back to thinking, number one, just in life in general, and how many opportunities have we had to be in the 1%? And did we take advantage of that opportunity to be in the 1%, to do the opposite of what the masses were doing? One of my favorite quotes from a mentor from many years ago, he told me, if you want to be successful in life, observe the masses. Look at what the masses are doing. Observe the masses and do the opposite. And it's something that I've always lived by since learning and understanding that is, again, while you have to go alone sometimes and it can feel uncomfortable to have to make a journey alone, a lot of times there's less resistance. There's less of a crowd in front of you to be able to do those things. And we're going to talk about that in a relation to what we have with EXP. And that's what really, kind of took me back. Because, I've been with EXP a little over 3 years. And I remember when I made the decision to join, I felt like, man, I'm doing something that, most people are giving pushback on. So I'm definitely in this 1% or so of, of people that in the particular area that I'm in Denver, that may not necessarily go this route, but there's something that I see with this company. There's an opportunity that I see with this company. And so seeing that video last week of the dogs navigating that obstacle, it was just a reminder for me of the decision that I made 3+ years ago. And I thought, again, it would be a great opportunity to share the same reminder with you of what it is that we have, with our company. So when we talk about the 1%, again, to be a part of the 1%, it's going to, it's going to equip you with certain things. You're going to have a mindset of confidence and clarity. When you make those decisions, when you're doing something that everyone else is, naysaying or pushing against, or they're doing something completely opposite of it, you have to go into it with a level of confidence, and you have to have, clarity in regards to it. And it's going to take vision. There's a reason that you chose to take, this path that is, really not even a path. You're forging the path. You're creating the path, as you're going. And a lot of times that can be scary when there's no path to necessarily follow. So, again, it's going to take that confidence, that vision, the clarity, as you're making those steps to do that. And it reminds me of a story, and I'm gonna see if I can share my screen here. It reminds me of a story of a runner. See, actually, I don't know let me see one second. Roger Bannister. While I'm looking for it, I'll just kind of tell the story here. His name is Roger Bannister, and in 1954, May 6, 1954, he did something that was believed to be impossible. See, before that date, no one had ever run a mile in less than 4 minutes. It was believed to be impossible by scientists, by doctors. They said that, the human heart would explode if you ran, less than a 4 minute mile. But nonetheless, Roger Bannister was able to achieve that. He ran 3 minutes, 59 seconds, um, in 1954, May 6th. Here's the thing about it, though. Once he did that, other runners over the course of time have also continued to run the sub 4 minute mile to the tune now in 2025. We're like almost well, yeah, we're over 75 years later. 6,000 people, 6,000 times it's been done that people have run a sub 4 minute mile. So again, to go from a place where the experts said it can't be done, you would die if you try to do this, to now it's the norm. And I think the record, the world record for the mile is right around 3 minutes and 41 seconds. So not only has it been done multiple times, that time has just continued to go lower and lower, over time. So that was something that was really, it has always been, something that stuck out to me just in regards to going first. And even though you have the naysayers, even though they're saying that this could cost you your life to do this, he did it anyway. He trained and was committed to making, those steps to be able to take himself beyond what everyone else said was even possible. So let's talk about that from a standpoint of EXP. And because again, joining EXP and growing this business, there's no doctor or scientist that's going to come out and tell you that it's going to cost you your life to do it. It may cost you, honestly, it may cost you some friends. It may cost you a little bit of ridicule. It may cost you, hearing a bunch of no's and things of that nature, but it's not going to cost you your life. But I can tell you that what I've experienced in about 3.5 years or so has been life changing for me. And more importantly, there's been people that I've shared this with that has been life changing for them as well. So that's what motivates me to continue to share this. But let's talk about kind of some of the characteristics. And I want you to kind of think back when you joined, EXP. I'm sure that some of these characteristics were, some of the key areas that helped you make the decision to move forward. Now it just becomes a matter of, are those same characteristics, is this going to be a reminder for you that kind of reignites a fire inside of you? Or have you been working in this place of these different characteristics the whole time. But people again that are working in the 1%, they move with vision. They don't need any validation from anyone. You're going against what is common. You're going against what everyone else believes in. So you're going to have to do it without having the validation of others and working from your own vision. um, they bet on the opportunity before it's popular. For me, I got in 3.5 years ago. Honestly, I would say EXP was becoming popular. They had a huge boom in regards to the number of agents that had joined. But you imagine those agents that have been here for 5, 7, 8 years, truly made a decision to join at a time when it may have not been its most popular. And they create something that others are waiting for. And again, it's a matter of, they say good things come to those who wait, but is that really true? I think now there's a quote that Abraham Lincoln is said to have said. I don't think he actually said that, but it says good things come to those who hustle. No matter who said it, that's really what it comes down to. Those that are willing to go first, that are willing to take the ridicule, that are willing to put in the work, those are where the good things come. And I think we have to get out of that thinking and that ideology of believing that good things are going to come to, those who wait. Now, yeah, there are things that you're going to have to do, and you're putting in the work constantly every day, and you're going to have patience, but you're not going to have to necessarily just sit back and wait for it to happen. And they lead, when it's uncertain. They lead at a time when, again, there's no, just like Roger Bannister, there was no proof that what was being told to him would or would not happen. So it was uncertain, but he did it anyway. The beauty of where we are with EXP right now, we have the certainty is there. We know that if you do certain things, you're going to have success. So how are you going first now? Really, it's a matter of you going first in your market. If you're, I'm in the Denver market. I feel like I was one of those that really said, you know what, I'm putting Denver on my back, and we're going to grow, this Denver market and put it on the EXP map. And growing in within your community, and then growing, whether you're in a larger market where there's a huge presence, you're still going first when you join this company and you say, you know what, I'm going to build something for my family. I'm going to build something for the families of my friends that are in real estate that don't even know about the idea that I'm going to share EXP with them, and get them to see the opportunity from, how they can take production in their business to a whole nother level, how they can go into luxury, how they could go into commercial, how they can do all these different things with this company to create financial, not only stability, but create wealth for themselves like they never have before in a real estate company that's just doing it in a very different way. So again, you want to have those characteristics. And I think, a lot of times when we hear about companies that have exploded, kind of like what we've been able to do over the last few years. Sometimes you think that the opportunity has been met. Sometimes you think that the big explosion has already happened. Well, in our case, I want to see if I can get the slide to move here. Okay, in our case, I want to kind of share with you what's called the bell curve. A lot of times we think, okay, the opportunity has come and gone. We're at, 87,000, 90,000 agents, somewhere in that ballpark. I missed the opportunity to kind of share this and grow something that really, explodes in my area, wherever that may be. But let me show you something here. You really haven't. I want you to think about in 2009 when Glenn Sanford formed the company and we started. going into 2012 and 15 and 17. Those were, those people that joined then, there was no proof. They were truly the Roger Bannisters of this company. And they took the entire company on their back and said, we're going to grow this from a national and an international scale. And those were the innovators. Those were the ones that saw the vision of Glenn Sanford and said, you know what, we're putting this on our backs. We're going to grow something beyond what has ever been done in real estate. And we get into 2020 and 2021 when we have a pandemic, and the idea of an cloud-based brokerage makes a lot of sense, because almost every company, all the brick and mortars, you weren't able to go into the office. You weren't able to do the things that you did from a traditional standpoint. And it made more sense as an agent to be a part of a cloud-based brokerage where you're not paying for the upkeep and the maintenance and the rents and all the things of a brick and mortar, and go into a cloud-based brokerage. And that's where the visionaries came along, the people that really kind of saw the idea of what this company could do. So, and we grew, kind of almost overnight from like 5,000 agents in 2017 all the way up into, the upper 60,000 in about a 4-year period. So substantial growth in a very short period of time. So that would make you feel like, well, man, we went through the visionary, the early majority, the late majority, and I missed it. The only people we're getting now are the skeptics. No, I want you to understand. So if you ever went to a mall and you're trying to navigate yourself through a mall and you find that map, that's usually somewhere in the center of the mall, and it says, you are here. And it has a little star, and it lets you know this is where you're at. These are where all the other places that you're trying to get to are at as well. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is where you're at with EXP. You're in the chasm. And the chasm is where the boom starts to happen. It's where, okay, the visionaries have come, and you are part of those visionaries, and you saw the opportunity, and now you have the early majority, you have the late majority. And if you look at the percentage of those people that are in those two areas, that's 68%. That's the majority of the entire bell curve that are in front of us right now, in front of us for an opportunity to grow, within EXP. So you're in a perfect position right now, because the proof is already laid out, and the majority of the people, the majority of the agents that are coming are not even here yet. So you're in the perfect position when it comes to being a part of EXP and growing something. And, we're talking a lot from a standpoint of agent attraction and growth. And that may not necessarily be what you want to focus on. And you don't have to. I can tell you, from a standpoint of just having the technology and all the different, the fact that we have a Canva account through EXP, the fact that we have Sisu, and now, Fixer AI, and all these different pieces of technology that are being brought into this company, and it costs $85 a month. The fact that we have 3,000 offices all around the world through Regis and Spaces that we have access to is for $85 a month. It's a huge, draw for people. And it's a matter of just using those tools that you have to continue to grow your business, even on the production side. One of the things that I do a presentation called Explaining EXP, and I show multiple ways, more than 10 different ways that you can actually get paid from EXP. And only one of them has to do with recruiting. All the other ones are just opportunities that this company has created that traditional brokerages can't even wrap their heads around. And when you think about, so I'm showing you that bell curve. One of the greatest evidence of proof that something is working, that something is successful, They say imitation is the best form of flattery. Well, did you know that there are 30 plus other companies that have tried to duplicate the business model that we now have? Now, if you go back to 2009, 2010, 11, 12, when this same business model was being ridiculed and said that it would never work. And here it is, we're almost 16 years later, and not only is it working at a very high level for us, where we're the number one company in transactions for the last 3 years running, but other companies are trying to duplicate what we do. And I can tell you that, I say trying because they're not doing the greatest job. It's kind of like Uber. If you think about Uber, when they came along, they were the first rideshare company. And you think about it, when you first heard about Uber and someone said, hey, we're going to jump in a car with a perfect stranger that's using their personal vehicle to drive people around, and it's going to save us money on a taxi. I guarantee you, and I can tell you, I was one of them. Like, nah, I'm gonna take the cat taxi. I'm not getting in the car with a perfect stranger. I can't tell you how often I use Uber now. Anytime I'm out of town and we don't rent a car, it's Uber everywhere. Uber is first, and then if something's happening and it's taking too long, then I may look for a taxi if a taxi is available. But it's become the norm, so much so that Uber is the leading rideshare company in the world. And did you know that there are 30 plus rideshare companies in the world? And most of you are probably like, wow, no, I only knew Uber and Lyft. And if you look at the numbers, if you look at the revenue for these two companies, just those two companies, Uber is up here and Lyft is a very distant second from Uber and their success. And then you have all these other companies that you've never even heard of before. But once again, it's imitation is the best form of flattery. And when someone sees that something is successful, they're going to imitate it. They're going to duplicate, what that company is doing. But when you go first, because you're the visionary, you tend to create such a wide margin that no one else, second place, can never catch up. Third place will never, be in the running to threaten, the level that you're at. And I think honestly, when I look at our company and I look at all these copycat companies that are out there, and you look at all the different things that this company has to provide, again, all the things that you get for free for $85 you get for $85 a month, that if you were at another company, you would have to pay for. And then the fact that, again, you have the ability to be relocation certified, REO certified. You have the ability to do business in Miami, Dubai, the Dominican Republic. I name those places because I have a partnership set up in those areas where I can do business. I can sell real estate in those areas. And I can tell you, since I've been here, I've had over 17 transactions that I have closed, roughly about $50,000 extra that I've done from doing business outside of Colorado on a Colorado license and doing business in other parts of the world. And you can't do that at other companies. You can't do that at even, to the level that we do it. I don't know that you could do it at a Remax or some of the other companies that are out there. So again, it's when you have a visionary thinker like Glenn Sanford that is putting the agent first and creating this agent-centric business model that really helps each individual agent win to whatever level they choose to. No other company is really matching that. And then you have our new CEO, Leo Pereira, that is now taken the vision to the next level. I like to refer to where we're at since he became in charge as EXP 2.0, because the speed of growth and the speed of the new things that he's bringing on board, it's hard to keep up with. You almost have to, you have to have a seatbelt on just to be in a room with him and hear of what he's done over the last 12 months and where he sees us going, because it's just phenomenal. And we're all a part of that. So you think about if you went back to, say, 2012, at around the time that Uber was getting started, you see what it's become. You kind of think to yourself, man, I wish I could have been a part of that. When you think about Netflix and the fact that, if you remember the days that Netflix used to mail out the DVD to you, and Blockbuster was kind of the big dog in the video, home videos realm, and Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix, and Netflix saw the vision. They saw the technology of where it was going and said, you know what? These DVDs, this disc is going to become obsolete here in the next 3 to 5 years. And there's this thing called streaming that is going to take over the world, and we're going to be in front of it. And Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix, and they said, nah, we don't need, what you guys have. And within that 3 to 5 years, Netflix put Blockbuster out of business because of streaming. And how many companies, Hulu, Prime Video, Paramount Plus, how many companies are out there now that are all doing streaming? I shut down my cable about a year and a half ago and totally just do streaming now. I never thought that would be something that I would do, but I have YouTube TV where I have all my cable channels. I have all the different, streaming, subscriptions that I need in regards to see the movies that I want. And while I love going to Blockbuster on a Friday night and getting the popcorn and picking out the movie, I don't have to leave my house. I just click a button and we're streaming. So think about all those different companies that have come along, Amazon, Facebook, all these different companies, and thinking, have you ever thought to yourself, man, I wish I would have known and had an opportunity to somehow be a part of that? Well, guess what? You're a part of this. This is your Uber, your Facebook, your Netflix with what we have with EXP. And I get up every morning and say that to myself to just remind myself of what we have in front of us. So again, I know this Monday Mindset was a little bit different because I normally don't talk a lot about the company, but like I said, when I saw that video of those dogs, it reminded me of, we are that one dog that decided to go, everyone's going left. He decides to go right, and he decides to take the longer path. He decides to take the more challenging path. He fell a few times before he was able to actually navigate the path, but eventually he made it across, and he made it to the prize, and he became the standard now, where the other dogs saw, wait a minute, he kept going right. Let me try right. Let me try what he was doing. And more dogs made it over. You are that 1%. You are that person that's going to go right when everyone's going left, and make this opportunity something special for you, your family, but some of those people that are watching that won't even tell you they're watching, that when they see your success, they're going to, ask you more about it. So I'm really excited for each and every one of us in regards to this opportunity, and just wanted to kind of share that with you. Hopefully you were able to take something from that gets you excited about EXP all over again. And I want to just say, have a great Monday, a great start to your April. I think we're in store for an amazing spring with real estate. Even though we got a lot of things going on, once again, those are the obstacles, but we're going to be able to navigate them because we have such an amazing company and platform to be able to help us to navigate those things. So thanks, everyone. You guys have a great rest of your day. iPhone 485, you are the 1%. All right, take care.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our eXp organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about eXp or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.